Alright, hello everyone. I'm just gonna talk about the recent trailer that just dropped, I think literally, was it 17 minutes ago? Thereabouts it started, and it just finished, and this is gonna be a kind of like just a commentary. I'm not gonna have any gameplay footage or anything. No MS Paint this time. Just kind of just giving my thoughts on the trailer overall. Um, so you can probably listen to this I don't know why you're doing something or something, I guess. I don't know. But I've deleted all the past videos on the predictions and stuff. There's no real point in keeping those up anymore as the final trailer was just dropped. So if you don't know about it, go watch that before returning to this video if you want to continue listening. But so I made a prediction that the leak, because context needed. So there was a leak by this, well, what people have been saying was a Japanese company, and I didn't look into it too much, but there was leaked footage early, really just soon after the GT trailer dropped, of all the movie characters and Kid Goku and all this other stuff um, being announced. And, I noticed a couple characters missing, and I'll get to that segment. But I really like how the trailer kind of, just showed the posters and everything and kind of went over everything. I mean, they've been doing that, but I kind of liked the graphic of the, movie posters, what have you. I'm really happy that Turles made it in, which he's one of my favorite. Out of all the movie characters, he's probably my favorite. Gonna be really cool to see his interaction with, like, I don't know, Goku Black and all the other Goku lookalikes. Frieza Soldier is one of those characters that, and I'm gonna give my opinions as well. This is gonna be more than just talking about the roster, but I want to give my concerns, I guess, with this game going in, and some of the things I like about this game, because I haven't really ever really talked about this game much other than trailer prediction. The game is going to be out first. I'll say this: it's going to be available October 7th, 6 p.m. Eastern, or yeah, October 7th, 6 p.m. Eastern, for early access, which I have. The pre-order bonus character is going to be Daima Goku when he's a kid. There's more spoilers from other channels, which I'm not going to give my hot takes about why I'm kind of annoyed about certain big Dragon Ball YouTubers making videos kind of talking about stuff maybe they shouldn't. In a similar vein to how this trailer was kind of made public when it probably shouldn't have, by a big Twitter user. But regardless of the fact, I'm overall pretty, and you could probably pull up, go, when you're done watching that video, you can pull up the final roster and just kind of have that image alongside with what I'm talking about, because I'm not going to bother pulling it up because I suck at editing and all that and whatever. But I mean, I could just type it in, but I'm very lazy right now. I'm going to go to bed pretty soon. So the thing is, I'm overall pretty happy with the character roster. I'm really happy GT made it in, just to kind of give a middle finger at all those annoying, because every new Dragon Ball game that comes out, there's always this sect of people that always just want to be like, "Oh, GT's not coming out. It's not going to be in the game. I fucking hate it. Ha ha ha." It's really weird. For some reason, every single game. This was happening far back as Xenoverse 1. The same thing happens every time. There's a new game that comes out, people want to, instill fear that that's not going to be added into, characters aren't going to be made in, or then movie characters, it's the same thing. Or Dragon Ball, whatever. Which, it's really a damn shame that Dragon Ball is kind of viewed as an extra to Dragon Ball Z and a lot of Dragon Ball games, when you would think that the entire backstory of Goku, for a large part, comes from Dragon Ball. So, unfortunately, this is another similar case with this roster reveal, which is another reason why I'm quite not happy about. Well, I'm happy and not happy. So, but I'll get into that in a moment. But from what we did get, it touches upon GT. You know, I used to say that Super 17 was my favorite character in GT, but now it's shifted to Baby. So we're gonna. But I'm still pretty pissed off within reason of that that he's not in the launch roster for some reason. But whatever. Um, but regardless, and then for the movie characters, we got Turles and Android 13 was really cool. Harudagarn coming back is also really cool. And again, none of this is like too crazy because with BT3, a lot of these characters made it in. So now we'll get into some of my concerns before I talk about my disappointments. But I'll talk about or sorry, I mean to say, we'll talk about the elements that they also discuss in the trailer first before I jump ahead too far ahead. That there was um showcasing of kind of the story mode and some of the other bits and pieces, and I think some of that was shown in the V-Jump uh, scans. Although I didn't glance too far at it, I just saw little bits of it. But there was, I watched the Japanese trailer. By the way, I've been trying to learn Japanese, but I couldn't give you a direct translation because like I'm like stage one in learning Japanese. I only know like a handful of words. So, but you know, regardless of that, they were going over some certain aspects, and one of the things I really like about this game is that they're taking the kind of what if kind of thing really seriously. That's something in Raging Blast 2 that I loved doing, was the what if quotes and reenacting the entire story through battles in Raging Blast 2, because as I think it's this well, at the time it was I thought it was better than Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi 3, regardless of um GT not being in that game. Mechanically, it was everything I wanted. So it was really also nice to hear that the devs were, you know, Raging Blast was kind of like a spiritual successor, although that was not in the most recent video. But I don't remember who it was. I think it was the producer that said that when he was asked in an interview that it was like a spiritual successor. So Raging Blast getting some acknowledgement is always a plus for me. The second one, the first one I liked. I think the first one had the best story mode ever. The first one's story mode was awesome. It's just the gameplay sucked. But the second one, Raging Blast 2, had amazing gameplay, but the story was Galaxy mode, and that I didn't like that shit. So, I mean, and it was okay, but regardless of that fact, there are some elements in this game that were incorporated from Raging Blast 2, which again is really cool. So, other than that, I'm kind of concerned about the depth of how much the what if stuff is going to get into. I know they talked about setting up custom, you could have custom intros and all that kind of thing, and the kind of, I think it was like the scene builder or something, and you can do that and that's cool. But in the actual story mode, I'm really curious if this is just going to be a few little small instances of what ifs. How far does this really go? Because a lot of the times in video games, when there's like what if stuff, it's kind of just like a small side thing. How large is this really? I haven't looked into it too much. So that's something I'm curious about. The music, I want to talk about. Um, I feel like this game could be so cool if they just added in old songs from the old. Of course, copyright, consideration here. But, if they pulled in like Morning Dew or like Heavy Gear or Dark Half, for instance, or maybe even go as far back as like pull in some Budokai games. Also, I don't know why my clock has been up for so long, but I'm sorry, but whatever. Um, but also for people wondering why I said I was going to bed at 10 a.m., I stayed up to watch this trailer. So, and I don't work. So, but anywho, back to what I was talking about. So, with regards to the what if stuff, though, just go back to this. I I hope this is very in depth, and it's as crazy as they're hyping it up. But the music thing though, I've heard some of the in-game tracks, and I'm not too crazy about a lot of it that I've heard through the demos. So I don't think I'll like. I mean, from the songs that I've heard, I don't think I'll like it as much as BT2's or Raging Blast 2's. Um, like for instance, in BT3, the only song that I liked was Dynamite Battle, but whatever. But I'm really hoping that they add some of the older tracks in, even pulling something like, I forgot what it was called, but the Namek theme from Budokai 1, the original Budokai. That's like, that's something they haven't really done, so I'd be cool to I'd be interested to see if they would do something like that. Um, but I don't know. I don't know as well about the training mode. I'm really curious how this is going to be. Back when Fighter Z came out, I never really went competitive because I don't really play competitively. However, against a friend at the time, I really put a lot of effort into practicing in the training mode before he stopped playing, which was a week, of course. Um, but with any regard, I'm really curious to see how crazy as well the how this does this get accepted into Evo? Is this going to become popular like Fighter Z and Marvel versus Ultimate Marvel or yes, Ultimate Marvel versus Capcom 3 back in the day. Um, Although because this is kind of a 3D game and not a sideways fighter, I'm kind of I don't know how we'll have to see. We're gonna have to see about this. I don't really follow Evo fighting too much though. I don't really watch it. Only Marvel again back in the day. Other than that, I don't know if it was mentioned about the CPU kind of thing. Um, Watching CPU versus CPU. I was never too crazy about doing that, but for videos, I guess it could be really cool to kind of talk to that in the background, I guess. Um, Another thing that I think is worth mentioning for people that don't know is on the case, this game was said, I think, somewhere along the lines of having a minimum of 100 gigabyte space. I'm not a fan of that. I really fucking wish it was not 100 gigabytes, but this is modern gaming, and for all I know, it's because there's a lot of stuff crammed into it. They've already compressed what they could. Um, but I don't know. We'll start off now with the things I did not like, which is the size of the game. I'm not really crazy about the size of the game in terms of its like the hard drive SSD usage, but again, whatever. That's to be expected. Another thing that I don't really like that I've kind of seen is that I'll just get it out of the way. The lack of Dragon Ball characters is, I think, just abysmal. I I am I am very disappointed that we've got characters like Spopovich and Bobbity and fucking Frieza Soldier over Piccolo Daimao, sorry, and Tao Pai Pai, Mercenary Tao, and Super 17. It's really like I don't know. Like to all those people that wanted Kibito and Supreme Kai, and even Champa and Vados. I'm like, they don't really fight. You know what I mean? Or a pool. It's like they don't really do anything. Like I get it, they were in Budokai Tenkaichi 3, but they had no like story. Like like they weren't crazy, I guess. I mean, like yeah, in terms of obviously Bobbity and Spopovich have good importance to the story, but Spopovich had like one fight. I don't know. I'm kind of just venting about being annoyed about the lack of Dragon Ball characters and also Kid Goku doesn't have Ozaru. What? What the fuck is that? What? What is that? I'm just annoyed at that. Like what? I don't know. Or Grandpa Gohan. It's like what? What? Where's Grandpa Gohan? Where's Devilman? I didn't really care about. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Devilman, I guess you could follow under. It didn't really do a lot of fighting, but I don't know. I don't know, man. It just sucks. I'm happy with the amount that we've got, but I wanna just talk about something that has been really irking me as well. People saying, "Oh, Super 17 and Piccolo Daimao are gonna be DLC." You don't know that. So on the season passes, they've only said 1, 2, and 3, and the first two are gonna be Superhero and then Daima. And we don't know if the 2 and 3 are gonna both be Daima. We don't know if they'll end support after that. People have, I think, people like me have a right to be upset at this, especially since they were in the last game. It's it's a huge missed opportunity, and for all those people that main Super 17, I don't. But think of those people. They waited like how many years did this game come out? What, did BT3 come out? How many years has it been? How many people are probably sick? I mean, I'm just ask yourself. Just think. I'm like legitimately. What if someone's sick right now and they've waited for so long to play Super 17, and now their wish is just going to be thrown out the window? Fuck those people, right? That's where I view the frustration is. Think of all the people that waited so long and they got shafted for no reason. They could have had this game cook far longer than it did. When I saw the leaks, some of the models looked pretty iffy and could have used some touch up. Now, again, this game comes out October 10th. There's still some time to iron things out, but how much is going to be like minor changes? For instance, Metal Cooler looked abysmal, but whatever. Lighting or not, doesn't matter. It looked weird. Um, although, but so while I'm happy that we got what we got, I'm also very disappointed that they couldn't have just let this sit for a little bit longer to give us the ultimate game. Because here's the reality. They're trying to sell this as the ultimate game, but they're just going to make a sequel to this game again, right? I mean, I'm getting similar vibes to this as I did with BT 1 and 2. Some people don't have the time to wait for another game or a DLC. So, I'm not one of those people, thankfully. But I'm just saying that's another thing that also people should consider, that those people are going to get screwed over as well. And but, more for me, I just think it's, in my opinion, for me, it's worse that I'm going to have to wait an unknown number of fucking weeks, months to get a character that should have been at the game at launch characters. But I have to complain about something. But regardless, I think this game is going to do very well. I have no doubt, in fact, that it'll do really well, and I like it. I like what I've seen of the gameplay. It's, I mean, it's just another Raging Blast to me, and I'm down. Hey, I'm down. That's why I got the most expensive edition, because you didn't have to convince me too much. I saw, at once they had that gameplay, the first proper gameplay breakdown, I was sold instantly. Even with no GT characters, I was fucking sold. I was like, yep. For those of you who've seen my other videos regarding the character guessing, like, you guys know, I tried to be positive about GT, but the last one I made before the talking about why the video titled why I don't think that was the final roster, which unfortunately I was proven wrong, which I've taken that video down because it's no longer necessary. But this video will serve as people know that I made those predictions and they didn't go to plan. So I'm not trying to hide anything. It's just the video is no longer important. So this video, I wanted to give a larger breakdown, I guess, of everything. Also, I should say this now as well. Um, there will be a lot of content of this game on my channel. A lot. When this game comes out, I'm going to play the fuck out of the story mode, and it's all going to be up on my channel. I'm going to do a ton of live streams of this game. I don't know if I'll ever do competitive, but I'll consider it. Okay. Um, but I definitely do enjoy me some Dragon Ball fighting games. So look forward to that. Um, but yeah, is there anything else I want to throw in here? I'm just glad this game's out on Steam. I, um, for everybody, I ordered a controller. I guess I'll give this update here since I've been constantly giving it on Twitch. My controller should be here within the week, as of this video. It's in the state over for me, so it really should be here soon. And I had to order this for this Sparking Zero game because my controller stopped getting, um, it basically, it doesn't get, the cord doesn't work anymore. And the controller had analog drift and whatever, so I got another one. That's also why, by the way, for those that watch all my stuff, why there hasn't been a lot of Legend of Zelda or um the what was the other one? Parasite Eve 2. I put that stuff on hold until I get my controller. But I'm currently streaming RE4 Remake to finish that in-depth story run so I can make the space on my computer to install this game, which the early access is again October 7th, 6 p.m. Eastern United States time. So, and that is October 10th for the full release. I don't know what time that is though. If you don't know what the time zone is, you should probably look it up. But overall, yeah, that's about it. Look forward to my gameplay if you're interested, and if you like what I'm doing, consider. I don't really say this often, but if you're interested in seeing some of my Dragon Ball content, consider following my channel, subscribing, and make sure you hit the bell icon, of course, because YouTube is kind of cringe with getting things into people's notifications sometimes. I don't actually know how that is for smaller channels, but whatever. And I do a lot of other stuff, but whatever. I'm not gonna get into all that crap. But yeah. All right. That'll about do it. Thank you all for listening. Appreciate it. See you next time.